Ben Askren doesn't care that he lost. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. The fight game is a ruthless business. You can only be knocked out so many times before your physical being is changed forever. Brain damage and CTE is also very real, harsh reality that tons of former fighters have to deal with, which is something Ben Askren must have understood in his bout against Jake Paul. People are dying to know, was their fight fixed? Keep up with me until the end for more. This is why he doesn't care. Jake Paul says Ben Askren is fortunate their Triller Fight Club headliner was stopped when it was. After Askren was dropped early in the first round of his boxing match with Paul on Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Arena, he got back up and tried to fight on. He was on wobbly legs though, and the referee decided he'd seen enough and waved it off at the 159 mark of round 1. Askren seemed upset he didn't get a chance to continue, but Paul said things would have gotten far worse if he did. Of course he's going to protest it, just like every effing fighter who loses does, Paul told MMA Junkie post-fight. Lucky for Ben Askren, because I had another big mother effing right hand coming for him, and he would have been unconscious for a lot longer than that. The ref saved him. He's lucky. He would have been an even bigger meme. It would have been more viral if they let him back into the fight. I had a big punch coming for him. It looks like Ben Askren is going to stand by what he said throughout the build-up of his boxing match with Jake Paul. The former NCAA Division I wrestler has finally decided to bid adieu to his career as a combat sports athlete. Ben Askren claims to be unfazed by tonight's outcome despite the uproar on Twitter and other social media outlets after he was knocked out in the first round. Askren said he is looking forward to continuing his career as a wrestling coach. The Iowa native runs several wrestling academies along with his brother, Max Askren. Speaking about the TKO defeat at the hands of the YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul, Ben Askren said, "I thought I was fine, but, whatever, that's his job, and if that's what he felt, that's what he did. I'm going to take $1 million to the bank and coach some wrestling." Ben Askren also affirmed that he won't return to the boxing ring or the UFC octagon. Askren claimed to be content with the hefty $500,000 payday that his boxing venture has brought. Funky has no aspirations to return to competition in the future, despite having to bow out with a defeat. "At the end of the day, my life doesn't change, one way or the other. In MMA, I was always pursuing defending a world title. Today I had a fun boxing match. If it turned out great, then great. If it turned out crap, then my life is the same. I will not be back again. I will not be in any sort of cage." Why he lost. Ben Askren was expected to turn to his sloppy boxing style to wear out Jake Paul. However, the problem child was too quick for the 36-year-old to handle. According to Askren, he bit too hard on Paul's feints, which ultimately led to his defeat tonight. "I heard my coach Mike. He was saying I was definitely overreacting to Jake's feints, and that was probably the beginning of the end. I shouldn't have reacted as hard as I did to his feints. If the referee would have let me grapple a little bit longer, maybe that would have helped me a little bit, but there are no excuses. I got into a boxing match and it didn't go so well." What fans think? Was the fight fixed? Many believe that Ben was just looking for a payout. It's difficult to blame Ben if that was indeed the case. Askren has a hell of a combat sports resume. The man loves wrestling so much that he decided to get into mixed martial arts so he could make some money wrestling, and he's taken a bit of damage over his career in order to live that dream. He secured titles in Bellator and won FC's welterweight division, rocking a dad bod and a visible case of hinged hips. In spite of his accolades, Ben isn't necessarily known for his striking. In fact, his skills have been off-mangled and ridiculed by other fighters and MMA fans for a very long time. This hasn't really seemed to bother Askren, who's made his in-fight strategy very clear. Get the fight to the mat and either secure a submission or get in a dominant position and hit the other person in the head until the ref stops it. And Askren proved he could easily do that for 25 minutes straight if needed be. However, his tenure in the UFC wasn't as successful as his runs in other organizations. He entered Dana White's promotion with an undefeated record, which looked like it was going to be compromised in his bout against Robbie Lawler. A controversial submission victory in favor of Askren against Lawler had fans upset, but they were probably delighted to see Jorge Masvidal put Funky on the receiving end of the fastest KO in UFC history. Ben took the loss in stride, tweeting shortly after, "Well, that sucked." He'd go on to fight Damian Maia in the UFC, losing a lopsided decision, and then he retired from mixed martial arts competition. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.